Welcome back to MMA Al Dente, the only MMA YouTube channel that predicted that Chris Lieben would defeat Anderson Silva. I mean, you had to see the way he was wrestling Luigi Fioravanti. All right, Muhammad Mokaev versus Malcolm Gordon. This is the second fight of the night, assuming everybody makes their fucking weight and whatever. And it's a very cool fight, despite Malcolm Gordon being in it. And that's because Muhammad Mokaev is one of the most red-hot prospects in the sport, 22 years old. He's looked really great so far in his career. He's got a deep amateur resume, really deep. I forget what it is, but it's like 29-0 or whatever. And he's got a lot of experience, and that's what makes him such a good fighter at age 22. He is a guy who is composed. He's able to fight long. He's got no problem going 15 hard minutes against mature adults. We saw that in his last fight against Charles Johnson, who is deceptively tough. That guy is, there's no shame in not finishing him. So I don't think it really sets Mokaev back. But still, Mokaev overall is not Mr. Finisher. As a pro or amateur, I guess he's more of a finisher as a pro, it seems. That's what I expect from him anyway. But, as an amateur, he's had a lot of decisions. Of course, a lot of those fights are 9-minute fights, 11-minute fights, whatever, 3-minute rounds, which don't give you a lot of time to work, certainly in the grappling sense. But they do give you time to strike. And he hasn't produced that many knockouts, which is why I'm picking him to win via knockout here. That's really my prediction. But still, he's shown hands and submission skills. He's obviously got it all. That Cody Durden fight was great. Cody Durden is a really tough, good, bona fide UFC level fighter, in my opinion. And Mokaev ran through him, club and sub. And again, as I mentioned, the Charles Johnson fight, there's no shame in not finishing him, but there's definitely no shame in tossing him around either, which is what Mokaev did. So really great performance, deceptively good performance against Charles Johnson. Malcolm Gordon, on the other hand, he's, 2-2 in the UFC, 14-5 overall. But, one of his victories was an injury over Dennis Bondar. The other one was over Francisco Figueiredo, which, whatever. And his losses, he's been knocked out. In 5 of his losses, he's got 5 losses. And in 4 of those losses, he's been knocked out. And this is a guy that fights at 125. So I feel comfortable in saying he's got a bad chin. I feel comfortable. Not that everybody hits hard like Sue Madarji, but he's got a bad chin. And even in his other loss, he was tapped out by Amir Albazi. And there's no shame in that, because Amir Albazi is fucking awesome. But for a jiu-jitsu black belt, which is what Malcolm Gordon is, he's got a recent submission loss, triangle first round. It just seems like, he doesn't have much going for him in this fight, is my point. And, again, he's 14-5. We've seen him beat some good fighters, but he's never beaten a great fighter. Not that Mokaev has either. But the upside is all with Mokaev, and you look at their strengths, these guys, they're wrestling. Mokaev is going to toss Malcolm Gordon around. It's just, this is a really difficult matchup for a guy like Malcolm Gordon. And I expect, like I said, I expect Mokaev to knock him out. I think I think there's a great chance that happens, because 4 losses out of your 5 being via knockout, and that's at 125. The writing is on the wall. That's not to say that he has just a dog shit glass chin where he can't take one punch. He can take punches. We've seen him. But over the course of his next 5 losses, if he's lucky enough to have those 5 losses, or however you want to word it, 3 of them will be knockouts. That's my prediction, which is very disproportionate for a flyweight especially. So that's the story with Malcolm Gordon. I'm betting against his chin. That's why I'm picking Mokaev and betting on Mokaev to win via first round knockout. Of course, I'm not crazy. I know Mokaev could win any other way. Submission, I'd say, is absolutely on the table. And decision, of course. Mokaev is a wrestling machine. And either one of them's possible. But I'm betting against Gordon's chin. That's the story of my bet here. I think Mokaev will absolutely pass that test. I think he's going to be the one dictating the fight. Gordon won't have that luxury of slowing the fight down. I'm not even sure he could take Mokaev down. Although, Gordon's got good wrestling and whatever. But Mokaev is going to be dominating and dictating this fight. And I don't think it'll even get to that point. I think he's going to knock him out in round 1. I think it'll be the story of good four of Malcolm Gordon's losses, where he gets knocked out. My bets for the fight are Malcolm Gordon. I did put something on Malcolm Gordon, but I'm not serious about it. It's because he's 1,000,000 to 1. But Mokaev plus 425 round one knockout. I love that. I've hammered that. I also really like the under, because it's under 1.5 rounds, which I'm typically not crazy about. But in a fight where I'm betting against someone's chin, that gives you 2 round starts where they're standing up and they're throwing down. So I like that about betting against someone's chin, and that's at -115 for both over and under, -115. So if you felt one way about it, I guess you can bet on it, and that's what I did, the under. And I also bet on Mokaev to win in round one, plus 160, just a little something to sprinkle on the hedge against him, the round one knockout, because I feel like a submission is absolutely on the table here. But that's how I see this fight playing out. I think this fight will be like a lot of Malcolm Gordon's losses, where he gets knocked out, and Muhammad Mokaev will rise to the occasion. I think he's, and he still doesn't know what kind of fighter he's going to be. 22, he's still developing, even physically, and his body will dictate what kind of fighter he is. But I believe he's got the power to take Gordon out. All right, like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and thank you for checking out the video.